ago abradabini asmoye abradativi no manye igbenti nevesin Benjamin Chene inkeje sataywa adom wakengmena shimme mena shi ho ni ma ho na ma ho mene areho ho ne nidia ke wonye nigbedi Madam Elizabeth Kai Naawu ni me for chemo ke Naawu ka allo sister echo say nye asale afọ kpono ni mene akalabazima man Presby Church New York Nungua ni amie bia ne abafe eyara ke efun Solomoye ni awakwa eyara femo
for the Lord. And if we die for the Lord. So whether we live or die, we belong to the Lord. Revelation chapter 14, verse 8. Birth. The late Elizabeth Bokai Naawu, a.k.a. Auntie Lizzie or Naawu Kai, was born on September 12, 1941 in Koforidua to the late Ni Alabi Jenge V, who reigned as Nungua Mankralu from 1952 to 1974. And the late Mary Mayoya Afule, a.k.a. Mountain of Ni Ajenwe clan. Lizzie was born of 8 children. Early life and education. Lizzie grew up in Koforidua and lived under the tutelage of both parents. Her father was a chief goldsmith and her mother was a fishmonger. Lizzie and the family relocated to Nungua upon the imminent installment of her father as Nungua Mankralu. And she was enrolled at the Nungua Presby School. Lizzie was an effervescent tent people and bonded well with teachers and schoolmates. Throughout her stay in school, she excelled admirable, and in 1961, she completed her formal education with a middle school leaving certificate. She enrolled in then Pioneer Girls School in Nungua after her middle school education to learn dressmaking to become a seamstress. But her love for education drove her to other interests. Employment and entrepreneurship. After passing her exams, Lizzie went back to Koforidua and landed her first job as a librarian at the Koforidua Library Board. While working at the library, Lizzie, as entrepreneurial as she was, started trading on the side. She will come to Accra after work on Fridays to buy stuffs to go and sell to augment her income from the library. It was through one of those trips to Accra that she met her friend, the late Madame Bortele Patience, who introduced her to the contract business, which she later excelled in. She went about her role with the diligence it required for years, and rose through the ranks and subsequently earned a transfer to Accra as a chief librarian at the Ghana Library Board. In 1977, she set up a block factory in Nungua, and the business boomed despite initial setbacks. Lizzie's entrepreneurial drive was unmatched, and it was evident in the way she handled her roles. The block factory business was the springboard for her foray into the world of bidding, contracts, and project management. She and the late Kokru Mercy, who was also in the same trade, formed an inevitable working relationship throughout the years. She formed an alliance with the Vatican Enterprise, and in 1984, she constructed cocoa sheds at Akim Akrosu in the Eastern region, founded by the Ghana Cocoa Marketing Company. That project tested her resolve, but she exceeded expectations. She further engaged in other similar projects in other towns and villages in the Ashanti, Brong Ahafo parts of the northern and western regions of Ghana. She later formed the Nalipo Construction Company with her kids. Lizzie excelled in the trade and went on to construct many other projects awarded by the Public Works Department, known as PWD, in Accra Metropolitan Assembly, known as AMA. Tama Municipal Assembly, TMA. Ministry of Works and Housing, Ministry of Roads and Highways, and among others. To name a few are the projects awarded to the Vatican Enterprise by the Public Works Department in 1990 for the renovation of existing facilities at the National Children's Park in Accra. In 1991, she executed a joint contract for construction of breakwater with Alex Naughty, Chief Executive of Alnott Ghana Limited at Sakumono Beach Drive. In 1992, she awarded a contract by the Tema Municipal Assembly to construct a fence at the Waste Management Department. This led her to other projects in Ashama and Tema Municipality. In 1994, she handled dredging of master drains in flooding area Accra, Malam Junction, and Peshi tributes in the La Dade Kotopom municipality. Founded by the World Bank and supervised by Hydrological Services Department of Ministry of Works and Housing. In 1996, Lizzie also constructed a 24-seater water closet toilet with wash hands basin at Nungua Landing Beach, founded by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, of which the Nungua town still owns her for the land she purchased with her personal funds for the construction of the public toilets. In 1999, Lizzie constructed 6-unit classrooms, blocks, and lavatories at Dansoman, founded by the District Development Fund in 1999. In 2001, Lizzie was responsible for the construction of master storms drains around Royal Ravico area and beyond the channel in the Breakwater Stream, funded by European Union Bank and supervised by the Hydrological Services Department. Lizzie carved a niche for herself as a businesswoman par excellence, and we continue to miss her high-handedness and attention to detail. She was also a superior for many government agencies. Also, at a point, operated a drugstore provision and a hardware store. Her entrepreneurial spirits led her to engage in lots of trade. Marriage life. Naawu was married to the love of her life, the late Francis Apia Boateng, was blessed with 3 children: Ivy Boateng, Franklin Boateng, and Enima Boateng. But so unfortunately, one of them has gone to rest already. Social life. Naawu personal and Ara was unmistakable. She was also present at family gathering and events and steering the ship. And being the main character, she was a born leader who excelled in most of her endeavors. She commanded respect and authority, always leaving her mark everywhere she went. Her fashion sense was automatic, and she always made sure to look the part all the time. The intricate details of her outfits and her jewelry category was the envy of many. In her heyday, Naawu was a fantabulous dancer and won many laurels with her crafts. She contests and won a dance battle in Koforidua and repeated the same feast at Sokwansa Hotel in Accra. Her dancing powers catapulted her into celebrity status in Nungua. She was a founding member of the Nungua Ladies Club, which brought together women of all social classes to have fun and support each other. Naawu was also a popular Ochame during traditional marriages, ceremonies, and her witty nature and mannerisms was also a joy to watch. She would crack a hilarious joke, and the next minute she would be admonishing the newlyweds to stay through the tents of marriage and make the journey worthwhile. Naawu was welcoming to friends and family, and an appreciable number of relatives were raised under her tutelage and guardians, and she was resolute and unbending in her principles and instilled timeless values into everyone she came across. Walk with God. Naawu was a devoted Presbyterian who fellowshiped with the Zimmerman congregation in Nungua. Her enhancing personality endeared her to the young and old, and she served with poise and grace. She was a presbyter for 8 years and a leader of the Friday Born group. Her popular catchphrase, "Wadi waka ba ni egbe esha," was an unmissable moment during the Kofi Keama birthday events. Naawu together with Edmond Ama Adama Raviko, Mr. Seth Ahialaye, and other played a pivotal role during the great renovation and completion of the Zimmerman Presbyterian Church, Nungua. She was a prolific singer and sang the Presbyterian hymns and other songs effortlessly. Her favorite hymn was Bokemoni Bemanko, and she always sang it at funerals and in the church. It is instructive to note that Naawu sang that hymn long before it was introduced into the recent hymn book. She was also a member of the Women Fellowship and served in various roles until the time of her demise. Ill health and demise. Naawu has took a nosedive about 5 years ago, and family, friends, and well-wishers have held her in their prayers and kept hopes alive. She was diligent with her routine medical checkups, and the signal were satisfyingly assuring. She took her medication without fail, and the journey to full recovery was well on track. Unfortunately, and regrettable, Naawu succumbed to the icy hands of death on April 22nd, April 2024. Saying goodbye is painful when the book has suddenly been closed forever. We love you dearly. Your memories and infectious smiles will remain with us forever. You will be sorely missed, but you are engraved in our hearts because there is none like you. Ow, Naawu kai, bo, oh, bo, bo, oka nyia monchiro, ya wajogbang, ya wajogbang, ya wajogbang, ya nunchole, bakoi amrin, wasma bomone, she yesu sumobopi. Ow, Naawu kai, due, damrinfa, due, bo, onu, okay, yes, I ashia, oh, amen.
Children, I'm reading on behalf of my sister and I. I'll read hers first. We love Mom, Auntie Lizzie, the girls and I. Mom loves to read the scriptures. She was caring, hardworking, brought peace between her children, always praising the Lord, and she taught me a lot of songs. She also have father and mother children a lot, and which made me ask her why. She said she made an oath to her father to take care of them as much as she can. She loves little children. Back in Koforidua, she would tell the children fairy tales one day every school week. I wish it was the Bible tales instead. Very stylish and lovely lady. I told her, Mom, you should travel overseas. The last time I saw her physically was in 1991, but the good memories live on. Gone so soon, man. Gone so soon. Now I'm going to read my tribute to my mother. My name is Enima Boateng. For whether we live unto the Lord, and whether we die unto the Lord. Whether we live therefore or die, we are the Lord's. Romans 14:18. For to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. I cannot give an eulogy of my mom without singing. My mom loves to sing. And I love to sing this song for my mom. Mitiasia mitimao. Mitiasia mitimao. Same won swa me wo mao. Akwani namo miaude metiasia metemao. Oh, akwani namo most situations that arose, she would raise a song. When my siblings and I would have a confrontation with her, that does not sit well with her, she starts singing as a polite way of telling us to either change the subject, cut the conversation, or end the call. If we don't, she will never utter any more words until we are tired of murmuring. My mom, Mother Elizabeth Naawu, affectionately called Ma about her children and family, was a very pleasant woman. She loved all her kids equally, to the extent that we would argue as to whom she loved the most. Ma had 3 biological children, namely Ivy, Frankie, whom we lost to cancer on November 19, 2021, a week shy of his 47th birthday, and Enima. However, she had so many children under her care. She had so many of them, some of whom traveled with me all the way from America to come bury her. And I'm grateful to all my cousins that came to me. And I say, I love you very much. However, growing up, I never recalled us living as a nuclear family. We always had relatives living with us. She took care of and raised most of her nieces and nephews, and even had them live with us. We were never lonely because we were constantly surrounded by family members. Her love for humanity and benevolence knew no boundaries. She went above and beyond to help the needy. We witnessed several instances when she had given her last money to someone and would later tell us the Lord will provide. We, her children, have held on to this promise of God's providence for us, and the Lord indeed provides for us in times of need. Queen Elizabeth, as affectionately called by some of her nephews, was both sweet and sour. She was an extremely strict parent who stood her grounds and never bowed to our selfish desires. She made sure we would do right by her. I remember when I would come home from work in the evening. I remember when she would come home from work in the evening, and as she gets to the junction of our house, she will honk in a certain way. And you hear her and once we hear her, everyone will scream, "Bluebird," that they will come. And within that 5 minutes, that will take her to get to the main gate. Our house will be squeaky clean and every mess fixed. We hated mass midnight meetings. You know you are in trouble when she calls you at dawn to talk to you. She made sure all her kids in her house were well cared for. Imami instilled in us the fear of God at a very tender age. I remember her morning devotions with us. Her favorite verse was Proverbs 6:11, but she stressed on the chapter 6. This really echoed in our ears the whole day and helped with our decision making. She taught us many songs. Her favorite was She woke up early dawn to pray for the whole family. My cousin Ophebia was telling me of how she emulated that in her home. We all do because of how my parents taught us. The Good News Bible and the Lights for our part devotional were their favorites. Ma was an avid reader. As a librarian, she had so many books and made sure we read. She read and wrote in her spare time. She always had piles of books and Christian literature by her bedside. Imami taught me how to read Gan and made me read most of the Gan literature books. She would mail us Christian literature and gospel CDs and admonish us to be good Christians. My mom was very hardworking. She was a building contractor and a businesswoman who was always full of ideas and mentored many others to success. She was very helpful and never held back her support to others, most especially to her friends and family. Furthermore, she was a great organizer and teacher who handled every task accorded her very diligently and efficiently. Mom was very fashionable and poised. She was a woman of excellence and class and demeanor that made her admirable by many. My sister and I would reminisce the times when she took us to the best designers like Winnie Gore and Winklow, among others, to have our clothes made. She introduced me to wearing custom-made wigs in my teenage years. She patronized the best designers and hairdressers in town. She was very meticulous with her choice of clothing. She would always alterate her clothing to fit her taste. So we always had a machine set up for alterations, even up until her demise. I learned how to sew by my mom forcing me to do my own alterations when we weren't satisfied with my clothes. She paid attention to every detail in her dressing. My sister and I remember when our mom had bought something new and we were interested in having it, she would always respond by saying, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't have bought it. This was her way of saying no, but before long, she would either give it to us or buy something similar to satisfy us. My mom made sure that I was visited every week throughout my stay in boarding house. She would send me my cousins and my late brother Frankie when she was unable to make it. At times, she would order food to be brought to me during the weekdays. She made sure I received extra tutoring on difficult subjects from the best teachers. This continued on when I traveled overseas. She would mail stuff to me constantly until I had to stop her. Even then, she was still sending them through my family. Ma was a very grateful person who attributed her success in life to God. She called me when she turned 70 years old to tell me of how grateful she was to have clocked that age and that God has given us 70 to live on earth. And she was satisfied that she had lived that age. As the years progressed, she would call and ask me whilst laughing, Enima, how old did you say I am? Please pardon me. I'm confused. Then I'll tell her. I'll tell her her age, and immediately she should start thanking the Lord for how far He has been gracious to her, a sinner, and how far she doesn't deserve such grace. My mom was satisfied with the situation and always thanked God and confessed her sins. The following are the principles that Imami left me, and I'm grateful and honored to share them with you. She said, I accept trials and difficulties as parts of life. I cannot expect to be exempted from these, but I use them to become wiser, stronger, more sympathetic to others in similar circumstances. And the next one she left me was, never think of what people say about you. Be yourself and do good to others. Try to please God always and not human, because they may fail you. As I read these quotes that she left me, I now understood why my mom was who she was, how she was a good person, because living by this, I understand that she really loved the Lord, and she was very entrepreneurial at the same time. She made certain that she imparted those skills to us at an early age. I would follow her to go to work. I admire her zeal and passion for work. When I would complain about the nuances that came with her job, she always responded by saying, in Ga language, it's not written on my face, and this too shall pass. Up to this day, whenever I'm faced with similar situations, I calmly tell myself those same words to strengthen me. I started working for my mom at an early age when my siblings and I took turns running her block factory and side businesses. I personally admire my mom a lot, the way she carried herself, her selfless nature. Even in her old age, she still cared about people. It therefore came not as a surprise when she left me those quotes as a principle in life, which I should endeavor by. Indeed, men have failed me, and I'm standing here on the wings of God. But at the same time, some men have shown me so much kindness and love. And as I stand here today, I ponder over the song you taught me as a child. If I lose my mom, if I lose my dad, if I lose all the things God gave me, if I lose all that I may possess, I know that I still have Jesus. I know that I still have Jesus. I know that I still have God. If I lose all that I may possess, I know that I still have Jesus. Although I'm sad that I'm officially an orphan, I take consolation in the fact that I'm a child of God, whose father is still Jesus, who never dies but is omnipresent. Imami, indeed you have left a vacuum in our hearts. My family and I, especially your beloved granddaughter, mourn and celebrate you. You are our hero and icon, and none can fit the shoes you have left behind, but we will do our best to make you proud. Imami ya wajaba ya ochekpakwan. Amen.
Bile kashte kwenye neche ikabahabu wonyenye wonyo ofi onaka ka wonye ni wono na ata kokoko no o yakamna o ka ni ento ncho na omobo ko nu wode akpo ko ni nu ncho ho e wode be mi ni o ha nu ncho bahabu e bahabu ka teke no anye me bile ho jole mi nyemo eye nokoni eye mlaw me kuma no hu ohia nu sane ko ake owule ko e ko waja e bi ene tutu e ka afe harvest kan bi e yu eboa na eni tuwo ba fite bo ko fo ida no bona efi o jemo we sani wọ́n ní èhìn hàn lẹ́ẹ̀kẹ́ ìbá sọ ọmọ ọdún anyẹ́mì kẹ́jì mẹ́ wá àsàfú ẹ̀ ní hàn ní wọ́n gbílẹ̀ àwọn ìmọ̀ ẹ̀ ní wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n hàn mẹ́ ní wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n hàn mẹ́ ní túmọ̀ yìí ní àmì ní túmọ̀ àyànù bọ́nà fẹ́ ni wọ́n sẹ́ kẹ́jì àmì nẹ́ẹ̀kú ẹ̀ àmì kọ́ wá wò ní mi sọ̀rọ̀ akẹ́sí wọ́n ná mẹ́yìn ní tòmọ̀ àǹtílìsí ni ame ntuni wuji na ame nakaple ame ne ke ko ke akashika ba ame gbegbin ame mi chi wo be ni wona ekwe ka bi shika pe e ka wo mi efu mi ni no ni ko be ekwe ka bi wo shika mi fu mo ko ye ko no na she ne dromo mi ajake habwe boko jie okwa ose me kuma me ha asafu eshika no ba bia kishimene me amelulo na se nke me ku ngbasa nke wo moderator prempe ebi yo afi nyuma enyomine beni yo suwe awula na chuni nikaji enyongboe 20 years ago 300 Ghana cedis were tight card me 300 cedis ni bi akashi eh awula na afi o itwe na he Brazilian wig ni bi ele na afi o manicure ke manicure aw chi ejake elemoni heleyi elake Yehowa ji epelo animo le Kristo na kai ncho ayi abo ni kaji Kristo ji wopolo wo he wale dane e ba fele kaji Kristo ji wopolo wo yo si akashi wonye ake akunam be fe ni wo yo ncho nyubo ke wo yejen ya gbene Kristo esomo ni se fowe ke e plamo ni se fowe ke o ba hishi bi fe bi o ba na hien nyam ncho na cha gwaje wo koni ne ke David lala ne e ka fe lala keke e fe o he mo ke ile iwe mo ni dagbe o ba ke o he bona fe ni na gbenu o pa se e papa ke mo bo le anyemi se mi wala gbe abo fe e papa ke mo bo dale anyo se lele o wala gbe abo fe ni nu cho enu nyam ape hono ko nye na na se mene e ke nu cho ngo nshira e ke Kristo nshira nu cho ana ba mi na kai ni ke we hin nyam yen mo che bi kam popole gba mi amen.
ni mo fe mo ni yo le ten eno ka mo ne ye no le etu o le den che ka ke bo ni chele beni afe ni ena gbe fan no e ja lo asiste le e ja ke ja wo fe wo pu ye Kristo ko jo mo se le ni ko ni mo fe mo ana ni efe ye gbo mo jo mi le bobo ni efe le e papa aji o e fon ji o no e wo le ani mi mejuji ya wo jo ani keje ne ni fiti o ne se di la na foi ni wo ta no ko me ni ya le no ni jigbe fan no papa le no ni action le wo de le ya wo wo he bo ke eli ta papa le ni wo mu ana no wa le mrin bo ni ache wo ke ba le ya wo fi atuji papa e ka no kwa foi ni ko ame nu ncho le gbe ni wo chu wo susuma ani ye anu kwale to igbo mi ya wo mu awo nu ncho wie mo le wo wo awo chu ya ke femo anu kwa fo ke asigbele ni ima ha wo wala adekure le amen.
Akeni Yehowa nyingo eba che wonyami Elizabeth kai Naawu nika wo hiene keje ne ka wala na mi keti ngo woke ehelu ha shipon ni su aya sumi ni mulu aya mumi ni lamu aya lamumi amen wa ye hieno kamo ye gbohin ya shitere ake wose na no wala hieno kamo papa ni yo nu cho Yesu Kristo mi le woni ni asheno amen Yesu ke nji shitere ke wala le moni hiyo mi yo le ehin a kaka ate na no ni kaji egbo tete ehin aka ni egbo ngi kokoko amen nya wo sole ya mo na le nyumo wonu cho Yesu Kristo che osumo aka wo yon komo ya meni awola to wo meni ben no hieno kamoko won po fine ni o che wo keje esha gbele mi ke ya jale wala mi ni wo ba jo wo hi ye omrin bona fe won ni a she dromo ni o sa auto o we bi ni shop gbe yi boni a fe ni won wonu ogbe ni nka wa se nye ba nye me ni mi che ejo nye nye ba nwa ma che ni a sa auto nye ke je nshishi be le ene wo bio mo bona le mo ye wonu ncho Yesu Kristo wo mi dan lo ke polo lo hiwo amen be noni hanu wo fe ni e bi ene me na ba she wo mi e ko le nuta bule mi abanya abi na ka jinu e ke ka ke adika wo mi e no no wa chu ncho ani onyemi o mami lezi kai Naawu eya ye hijole mi amen
shida wa chofi ake keje o mami ehilami ke shika mo na efe ba ka keke woku e lo jugba oni ji enyo wo ke ha papa osofo asafo nupa osofo pana ni obie catechist fo wo ke ni ncho ajo yin fe choristers ni obie women fellowship bi President King Kwa nya twene mi yeso ke so lo efe nye babie nyi bakwe manlizi ise wo ke wo kenye nu obonu egbe mo here Nungua mashida na mike da mfa mike nanye nye radon akenye bakwe wo ise ni charge onye fe amen
Nuncho le tatu bofi abadu wa ki ke no somewhere to adon yi because the matter do share ka check chill off time e wo nuncho ni wa many ye kamo continue fe wo nuncho mo bora la nuncho le tatu do fe ni nuncho ya kwa ye fe ni do nuncho atu ya kwa ni ye he nuncho le ni ye dani ye akame ni ani wala amen amen
Amen.
o abladabini ejaye ablade TV no afefu Solomon Ajagomi abatashi ake ya femo etano bia wakamwe ni femo wa ingbe di Nevesin Benjamin Chene inke Joshua Taywa adom wake ablade TV wa ha yono ni yetawo